Hare Krishna. We welcome all of you to all our YouTube live listeners and our Facebook live listeners. We welcome each and every one of you. Thank you so much for joining us today in session 15. So we will start with some invocation prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Nama Pankajanabhaya Nama Pankajamaline Nama Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangraye Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadhu Vargena Vakalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pumartho Mahan Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Tatra Dharana Paraha Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanatha Swami Niti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Niti Namine Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayane Gaurakatha Dhamadaya Nagara Gramatarine Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravane Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangurlangayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurung Dinatarinang Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. We welcome all of you once again, all of our esteemed YouTube live listeners and our Facebook live listeners. Welcome each and every one of you. Hare Krishna. So before we move on to today's session 15, we would like to announce all the participants to the quiz contest from yesterday's session. So from Facebook, we have Meena Mataji, we have Janeshwar Gauranga Prabhu, we have Ranjani Gopika Mataji, Divyangi Lalita, Anju Agarwalji, Shweta Mataji, Vrindavani Mataji, and Varshana Chitra Mataji. We thank all of you from Facebook for participating in the quiz. From YouTube, we have Prajwani Mataji's son, Rushi Prarushta, 10 years of age. Congratulations, Rishi. You did very, very well. Thank you so much for participating. Then we have Nirguna Janava Mataji. We have Divyangi Lalita, we have Nilanjana Datta, Vijayata Arora, and we have Surya Narayanan Mataji, Keshavi, and Reena Kamath. So we thank each and every one of you for participating in the quiz contest for yesterday. Thank you very much. So today we will continue on from chapter 21. Yesterday, Prabhu concluded chapter 20, where he said the conclusion was that next Brahma evolved the great sages as his sons and gave each of them a part of his body. So this chapter 21 is a conversation between Manu and Kardama Muni. So the chapter starts by saying, Maitreya Rishi is telling to Vidura that commanded by Lord Brahma to beget children in the world, the worshipful Kardama Muni practiced penance on the bank of the river Saraswati for a period of 10,000 years. He performed devotional service to the Lord, and by thus being pleased with his devotional service, the Lord appeared in front of him. And there are around 4 or 5 verses which describe the beauty of the Lord when he appeared in front of Kardama Muni, becoming very pleased with the devotional service that Kardama Muni had rendered. It is explained that when the Lord manifested, he was as effulgent, as brilliant as the sun. He was wearing a garland of beautiful, delicate white lotuses and water lilies. You know, water lilies, they have a very intoxicating kind of aroma. It's very subtle, but you know, those water lilies also in Mayapur, especially the water lilies there, they are very, very dear to Lord Nrsingadev. So very nice, you know, fresh water lilies are offered to Ugristan and Nrsingadev whenever they bloom in the waters of Mayapur. So whenever I think about water lilies, I think of Lord Nrsingadev. So just wanted to mention that. So the Lord was wearing a garland made of white lotuses and water lilies. The Lord was clad in spotless yellow silk, and his lotus face was, you know, it was bluish in color, and the slick of dark locks of curling hair was coming, you know, like his face was appearing as brilliant and as effulgent as the moon, so cooling, so radiant as the moon. And just like how dark clouds cover the moon sometimes, just like that, the Lord was, the hair of the Lord was covering, the curly locks of hair was covering the moon-like face of the Lord. Very beautiful description given here. And text 10 says that adorned with a crown and earrings, he held his characteristic conch, disc, mace in 3 of his hands, and a little white lily in the 4th. He glanced about in a very happy, smiling mood, and seeing this scene would be so captivating that it would captivate the hearts of his devotees. So then, as soon as this beautiful sight of the Lord manifested in front of Kardama Muni started offering glorifications and started honoring the Lord, thanking him for being there, and in reciprocation to his services, the Lord reciprocated. So Kardama Muni was expressing his heartfelt gratitude to the Lord. And then he finally said that in text 15, he said that desiring to marry a girl of like disposition, who may prove to be a veritable cow of plenty in my in my married life, to satisfy my lustful desire, I too have sought the shelter of your lotus feet, which are the source of everything, for you are like a desire tree. The purport to this verse, text 15, it's a very important verse in this chapter. And Srila Prabhupada, you see, we sometimes can think that, you know, Kardama Muni, he was the son of Brahma. And I mean, he not the son of Brahma, he was manifested from Brahma, you know, father of all living entities, Brahma. In that sense, he was the son of Brahma. And such a powerful sage, he performed, you know, devotional service for 10,000 years. And being pleased with his devotional service, the Supreme Lord himself appeared. And instead of asking for pure Krishna Prem, why is he asking for a wife? Because The reason Srila Prabhupada explains this in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that Kardama Muni and the 10 other sages who came along with Kardama Muni, they came with the sole purpose of creating progeny. That was their purpose. So they were wanting to fulfill the purpose for which they were created by the Lord. And so that they do it in the proper way, in the proper mood, therefore they were seeking shelter of the Supreme Lord Himself. And in the purport to text 15, Srila Prabhupada explains that whether we have no desires, or whether we have all desires, or whether we desire liberation, akama sarva kamova moksha kama udaradhi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. That whether we have no desires or whether we are full of all desires, or whether we are desiring moksha, liberation, in all circumstances, let us just simply take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in devotional service. Tivrena bhakti yogena, in devotional service. We should take shelter of the Supreme Lord. And that's exactly what Kardama Muni did. So Kardama Muni, he is accepting that, look, I have been created for the purpose of progeny. So I may be having some tinges of lustful desires. So my dear Lord, you are here to purify me. You see, we need to accept the level that we are in. And then from there, if we, try to raise ourselves above, it's a very easy way. Sometimes, we put ourselves in illusion. We put ourselves in a bubble that, oh, we are all perfect. Everything is good. We are all goody-goody everything. No, we must accept the hard facts of life. If we are having and facing challenges, let us be honest enough to accept it to the Lord. That, my dear Lord, doing sadhana, chanting 16 rounds a day, chanting and following the 4 regulative principles properly, within the 4 regulative principles, the 5th regulative principle is also to preach, to share our spirituality with others. That's the 5th regulative principle. It's part of our sadhana. Sharing Krishna consciousness is part of our sadhana. Chanting 16 rounds, this can all get very challenging in today's day and age. Kali Yuga, it's the age of quarrel and hypocrisy. So if we want to truly seek shelter of the Lord, we must come out of the hypocritic mentality. Let's not try to cheat ourselves. If we think that, yes, we are very, very good, everything is good around us, we are, coming up, putting nice tilak, coming in front of everyone, posing as a nice devotee, that way we can cheat Krishna. We are cheating devotees, we can cheat Krishna also. Guess what? Krishna will be the greatest of all cheaters. He declares it in the Bhagavad Gita. That of all cheats, I am the greatest cheat, Krishna says. So let us not try to cheat Krishna. Let us try to be as open with him, as, direct with him as much as we can. One very senior devotee was recently telling and sharing with us that, Krishna, he loves to hear, bhajans and kirtans, and he loves to hear the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But the Lord also loves to hear when we say prayers in our own way also to the Lord, after having followed the certain etiquettes that we have learned from our acharyas. Now, sometimes we need to express things to Krishna from our heart. What is there in our heart? Let's express it to Krishna. That's exactly what Kardama Muni is doing here. So Kardama Muni is accepting that, my dear Lord, I am in this condition. So therefore, I'm asking you, please bless me with a wife who is going to have the same mind frame as me, so that together we may engage in your devotional service, who can help me in progressing in my devotional service. That is the attitude of a sincere sadhaka, which is, shown so beautifully here by Kardama Muni. So the Lord, being pleased with the sincere plea of Kardama Muni, he spoke to him with very pleasing words. The Lord spoke to Kardama Muni. He said that I know your mind and the purpose with which you have undertaken this vow to me. So your desire will be definitely fulfilled by me. And the Lord he predicted it to the exact minute when it's going to be fulfilled. The Lord says in text 26 of this chapter, the Lord said to Kardama Muni, the day after tomorrow, O Brahmana, the celebrated emperor Swayambhuva Manu, who is expert in religious activities, will come here with his queen Shatarupa, wishing to see you. Text 27 says, he has a beautiful grown-up daughter whose eyes are black. She is ready for marriage, and she has good character and all good qualities. She is also searching for a good husband. My dear sir, her parents will come to see you, who are exactly suitable for her, just to deliver their daughter as your wife. The Lord is predicting this to Kardama Muni, that day after tomorrow, your wife will come to you, being brought to you by her parents. Text 28 says that princess, O holy sage, will be just the type you have been thinking of in your heart for all these long years. You see how Krishna in the Paramatma, as the Paramatma in our heart, Krishna knows exactly what we need. This line is so precious. The Lord is saying that the girl that you desire, O dear Kardama, she will be exactly like the one who is coming to you day after tomorrow. She's coming. Who you have been thinking of all of these years, she's coming to you. She will soon be yours and will serve you to your heart's content. Text 28 is saying this. Text 29 says, she will bring forth 9 daughters from the seed sown in her by you. And through the daughters you beget, the sages will duly beget children. See, this is how, proper progeny is predicted here by the Lord. Proper progeny, how the period will keep going on, that you will get 9 daughters, and those 9 daughters you will hand them over to great sages who will eventually also beget other children and fill the world with good progeny. With your heart, text 30 says, with your heart cleansed by properly carrying out my command, resigning to me the fruits of all your acts, you will finally attain to me. Assurance by the Lord that, okay, yes, you are coming here to discharge your duty, but it's not that you will be in the samsara of the material whirlpool. No. When we do a proper prescribed duty as given by the Lord himself, as ordained by the Lord himself, then the Lord assures us that we will go back again to him if we follow his instructions. That's exactly what text 30 is saying, that you will finally attain to me, O Kardama. The Lord also assured Kardama Muni that he himself will appear as his celebrated son. Text 32 is confirming that. The Lord said, O great sage, I shall manifest my own plenary portion through your wife Devahuti, along with your 9 daughters, and I shall instruct her in the system of philosophy that deals with the ultimate principles of categories. The Lord predicted his own appearance in the womb of Mother Devahuti and Kardama Muni. He said, I will come as your own son. So they would have 10 children, 9 of them would be daughters, and the 10th one would be the Lord himself. Text 38 and 39. So speaking in this way, after giving this benediction in text 32 to Kardama Muni, the Lord finally went back to Vaikuntha planet. And Kardama Muni, with a very happy and pleased mind, he started waiting for day after tomorrow, that, Swayambhuva Manu would come. And exactly on that very same day, it is predicted, just, in preparation to welcome, his in-laws, his to-be in-laws, Kardama Muni got ready. It is said that text 38 and 39 is saying that the holy lake Bindu Sarovar, flooded by the waters of the river Saraswati, was resorted to by hosts of eminent sages. You see, in the beginning, when this chapter started, we found that Kardama Muni was doing tapasya. He was engaged in devotional service to the Lord on the banks of the river Saraswati for 10,000 years. And now, that same river Saraswati, the part where the river Saraswati was flowing near the hermitage of Kardama Muni, came to be known as Bindu Sarovar. There's a special reason, which is explained in this verse itself, that the holy water was not only auspicious, but as sweet as nectar. It was called Bindu Sarovar because drops of tears had fallen there from the eyes of the Lord, who was overwhelmed by extreme compassion for the sage who had sought his protection. So we see that the Lord was not only pleased by Kardama Muni, the Lord in fact cried tears of happiness, seeing the sincere devotional attitude of Kardama Muni. The Lord cried tears, and those tears fell into that part of the Saraswati, and that part of the Saraswati river came to be known as Bindu Sarovar. Till today, that part is known as Bindu Sarovar Lake. Very, very important verse in this particular chapter. Then, on the day the Lord had predicted, Swayambhuva Manu, along with his wife and daughter, came to the hermitage of Kardama Muni on the banks of the Bindu Sarovar. So the chapter concludes by Kardama Muni welcoming and greeting Swayambhuva Manu. And now we move to chapter 22, which is the marriage of Kardama Muni and Devahuti. So Swayambhuva Manu, in the previous chapter, in 3-4 verses, Kardama Muni welcomes Swayambhuva Manu. Very respectfully, he welcomes Swayambhuva Manu, and Swayambhuva Manu also, he offers respect to Kardama Muni as a great sage. So Swayambhuva Manu, being very pleased by the respectful words of Kardama Muni, he spoke as follows in text 9. Swayambhuva Manu is saying to Kardama Muni, he says that my daughter is the sister of Priyavrata and Uttanapad. She is seeking a suitable husband in terms of age, character, and good qualities. Text 10 is saying, the moment she heard from the sage Narada of your noble character, learning, beautiful appearance, youth, and other virtues, she fixed her mind upon you. So here also we see the important role played by Narad Muni. Narad Muni, he is the transcendental spaceman. He's like the messenger of Krishna, going around everywhere in preparation for the Lord's pastimes to unfold. Narad Muni helps in the Lord's pastimes to unfold, to manifest. So he was the one who went to the palace of Devahuti, and he told about Kardama Muni to Devahuti, about, his character, his, great scholarly learning, his beautiful, charismatic appearance. And that way, Devahuti had already fixed her mind upon Kardama Muni, and she wanted to only accept him as her husband. So text 11 says, Swayambhuva Manu is saying to Kardama Muni that therefore please, my dear sage, please accept her, O chief of the Brahmanas, for I offer her with faith, and she is in every respect fit to be your wife and take charge of your household duties. So text 14 says, Swayambhuva Manu continued, O wise man, I heard that you were prepared to marry. Please accept her hand, which is being offered to you by me, since you have not taken a vow of perpetual celibacy. Very important verse in this particular chapter is text 14. Very important. Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that there are two kinds of brahmacharis. There is a Naishtiki brahmachari, and then there's the Upakurvana brahmachari. Naishtiki brahmacharis are those who have taken the vow of celibacy for life. that they would not get married. But the Upakurvana brahmacharis, they are undergoing the vow of celibacy till a particular age, mostly around 25. And at 25, then they change their ashram and accept the Grihastha ashram. But they do undertake the training to be a good brahmachari. So Swayambhuva Manu is being very respectful for this. That he knows that Kardama Muni is an Upakurvana brahmachari. That he was not a Naishtiki brahmachari and he is bringing his beautiful daughter so that now he will just, break the austerities and the penances of this great rishi and make him fall down and, get his daughter married to him. No. Because the great sage also wanted to get married. That is why Swayambhuva Manu approached. It was a very important point, very, very important point, that we need to know whom we are approaching with a proposal for marriage. We need to know that. We need to be very careful that our rendering of any of our services should not be disturbing to anybody else's rendering of their services. So therefore, it's very important for us to know in proper way who to approach for what. It's very, very important. So then, anyways, moving on. Then after, glorifying Kardama Muni, then Kardama Muni then also accepted and said that, yes, I will definitely accept your daughter. There is no question of not accepting your daughter, because your daughter was recommended by none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu himself recommended your daughter to me. So why will I not accept her? Of course, it's my greatest honor, my benediction, that you are here to give me your daughter in hand in marriage. In fact, your daughter is so beautiful. Kardama Muni quotes a verse. He says that your daughter is so beautiful that even one time Chitraratha, one of the devatas, was passing by on an airplane above your daughter's palace, and she was playing on the terrace, and seeing her beauty, the devata fell off his plane. That is the level of her beauty. So there's no question of me not accepting your daughter. So, with a very grateful heart, I do accept. And, the most important thing being that, your daughter was told by Lord himself. So therefore I accept her. And so with great pomp and merry, Swayambhuva Manu and his good wife, Shatarupa Devi, they got Devahuti married to Kardama Muni. So when the parents, after the marriage was over, when they were leaving after the wedding, they felt great separation from their beloved daughter, both the father and the mother, especially the father, because it is said that daughters are more dear to the father. This Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport. And Srila Prabhupada writes that while leaving, there is a verse in this particular chapter which says that Swayambhuva Manu addressed his daughter Devahuti both as mother and daughter. Oh, my dear mother, oh, my dear daughter. He uses the word Amba and Vatsa, both. And Srila Prabhupada very affectionately explains this in the purport to that particular verse. He says that how fathers very often lovingly address their daughters as mother. They call them Ma, like that. So then Srila Prabhupada says how women always, also in that very same purport, Prabhupada says that women always need to be under the shelter. Not because they are weak, but the reason is that because of their respectful position, they need to be under proper shelter. They need to be protected. That is the duty of a proper, responsible society, to protect the women, to protect the children. So Srila Prabhupada says that before marriage, the women are protected by their fathers, then during the married years by their husbands, and later on by either their sons or the spiritual master. So anyways, then the king with his wife Shatarupa returned back to their glorious kingdom and began ruling their citizens with love and proper justice, it is explained. And text 34 explains a very, very beautiful, one of the very, very important verses. It says, text 34 says in this verse, in this chapter says, that thus Swayambhuva Manu was a saintly king. Although absorbed in material happiness, he was not dragged to the lowest grade of life, for he always enjoyed his material happiness in a Krishna conscious atmosphere. How beautifully Prabhupada has translated this. That although Swayambhuva Manu he was the father of mankind. He was he was the Shapta Dvipapati. He was the king of all the 7 continents, it's explained. So he was the only king for the entire creation at that time, Swayambhuva Manu. So he had everyone at his disposal serving him. And in spite of that, although he was absorbed in material happiness, he was not dragged to the lowest degrade of life because he enjoyed his material happiness in Krishna consciousness. So material happiness is not a bad thing when we know how to use it in Krishna's service. And that's why this Swayambhuva Manu is called as a Rajarshi, or a saintly king. Just like how Janak Maharaj is called as Rajarshi, saintly king. These are kings, but in very, very renounced way. They are having everything, all opulence at their disposal, but they know that they how to use it in Krishna's service. So that's a very beautiful verse, text 34 in this chapter. And this chapter concludes in text 37 by saying that, therefore, O Vidura, how can persons completely under the shelter of Lord Krishna in devotional service be put into miseries pertaining to the mind, the body, nature, and other men and living creatures? This is a question by Maitreya Muni to Vidura. He's saying that, this is a rhetorical question, which means that the Lord is always taking care personally of his devotees. That's what exactly Maitreya Muni is meaning when he is speaking this last verse, that the Lord personally takes care of everyone. So now we come to text 23, which is Devahuti's lamentation. So this chapter is very, very interesting chapter. It's a very beautiful read. If you all have time, please do take a look at this beautiful chapter. It's very, very nicely explained how Devahuti served her husband Kardama Muni with great devotion, with rapt attention, with lot of respect, although she was the daughter of a king, of the father of mankind, Swayambhuva Manu, most powerful person. She was his daughter, but still, giving up her princely, luxuries and everything. She just, meekly, served her husband. She personally did everything, not caring for her body. She neglected her own body like anything. Her hair had become matted. She would not comb her hair. She would not take care of the dresses that she was wearing. She was just, her body had become very frail and very weak, because she was so dedicatedly engaged in the service of her husband. So Kardama Muni, he expressed his appreciation for Devahuti's service, and Devahuti then expressed her desire to have children. And she then requested Kardama Muni to make suitable arrangements. So all of this is described from text 1 to text 11. Then from text 12 to text 48 describes how Kardama Muni, being so pleased with the sincere, gesture of Devahuti, he reciprocates with her. And he actually makes very wonderful and opulent arrangements, through his mystic powers. And he creates a very beautiful 7-story, aeroplane, like a palace, airplane, which can travel by the speed of mind, the speed of Kardama Muni's mind. So he had Devahuti also, he made arrangements for her that he told her this, just enter the water of the Bindu Sarovar lake and it will restore all your, beauty. So when she entered, at that time, when she entered the water, there was it is explained that inside the water of Bindu Sarovar, there was a chamber where there were thousands and thousands of, beautiful attendants, who were her maid servants, who took care of beautifying her. And then when she came out from Bindu Sarovar, then Kardama Muni, she and Devahuti and Kardama Muni, they ascended on this airplane, 7-story airplane, and then they traveled throughout the universe. It is said that they went to all different nooks and corners of the universe and spent many, 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 many years. It is said that hundreds of years went by, and they were constantly traveling by the speed of Kardama Muni's mind, and they were, seeing the beauty of each and every land that they were going to. And then finally, when they returned back to Bindu Sarovar, Kardama Muni is said to divide himself into 9 expansions, and he impregnated Devahuti. And Devahuti miraculously, on the same day, on the very same day, she gave birth to 9 beautiful, charming female girls. On the very same day, defying all laws of nature. On the very same day, she got impregnated and she delivered 9 children. And Kardama Muni was, wanting to leave at that time, it is explained. So all of this, till the female children, this is from text 12 to text 48. This is all explained. Then text 49 to 57, it is said how Kardama Muni was about to leave home, and he was, that time approached by Devahuti and said that you cannot leave me like this. Our girls, they will be gone very soon. So if you are leaving me without any shelter, without any protection, how can that be? So immediately Kardama Muni remembered the instructions of the Lord, and then he immediately instructed his wife that let us both engage in active devotional service to the Lord, so that the Lord, being pleased with our devotional service, will appear as our son. So it is explained that, how Devahuti and Kardama Muni engaged in very, very beautiful devotional service. And then after a few years, she again, through it is said, just like how Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport to that verse, he says that just like how Lord Nrsingadev appeared from the pillar, Lord Varahadev appeared from the nose of Lord Brahma, similarly, Lord Kapila, who is the incarnation of Krishna himself, appeared from the semen of Kardama Muni, and he took shelter of the womb of Mother Devahuti. And then she gave birth to Kardama Muni. So this is how Kardama Muni, then we come to chapter 24, where it is entitled The Renunciation of Kardama Muni. Kardama Muni, in this chapter, it is explained very beautifully how he actually then, he decides to give away his daughter, fulfilling all his responsibilities. Before retiring and taking sannyas, he had the responsibility of his 9 daughters to hand them over to responsible persons. And the Lord himself had said that he should hand them over to proper sages. So he had 9 daughters. It is said that he gave Kala to Marichi. Second daughter is Anusuya to Atri. Third daughter, Shraddha to Angira Muni. Fourth daughter, Havirbhu to Pulatsya Rishi. Gati, the 5th daughter is Gati to Pulaha Muni. 6th daughter is Kriya to Kratu Muni. 7th daughter, Khyati to Bhrigu Rishi. 8th daughter, Arundhati to Vashishta. And Shanti, the 9th daughter, to Atharva. So these are the 9 daughters of Kardama Muni, and he personally handed them over to these great sages who further, generated progeny and brought around very, very, celebrated, glorious sons. And then Kardama Muni, he actually, instructed his wife, Devahuti, Mother Devahuti, that she should take instructions from sage Kapila, from their son. And at that time, he then retired and he left home and he took sannyas and he retired into the forest. He engaged, it is said that he engaged in active devotional service, and then he, by pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it is said that he went back home, back to Godhead. That's the story of sage Kardama, which brings us to chapter 25, where we come to the chapter 25 is entitled The Glories of Devotional Service. So in this chapter, very, very beautifully, Devahuti, she does not lament that now her husband has gone away, because she knew that by engaging in devotional service, that all perfection would be brought to her. And Kardama Muni, in fact, had given her the benediction that whatever devotional services I am doing, you, because you are my chastely devoted wife, you are my Ardhangini, my better half, I give you all of my pious credits. You will get them automatically. So, therefore, it is also said, because Devahuti served her husband so faithfully, so chastely, therefore, she got the qualification to have Lord Kapila, the Supreme Lord, as her son. And in this particular chapter, she actually questions Kapila Dev that, what should, me, I am just a woman, with less intelligence. How should I be able to engage in devotional service? So Kapil Muni, he actually talks about very beautifully how to engage in proper Sankhya, regulated devotional service, he talks about. And he talks about how to how it is more easy when the devotional service is not just rendered alone, but with a group of associates, with like-minded devotees. When we are rendering devotional service to the Lord in the association of devotees, then that service is very easy to perform. So beautifully he explains, and he also explains in text 21 of this chapter, very important verse, about what is the sadhu bhushana, or what is this, the qualities of a sadhu. Titikshava karunika surida sarvadehinam ajat shatrava shanta sadhava sadhu bhushanam. Text 21 is saying the symptoms of a sadhu are that he is tolerant, merciful, friendly to all living entities. He has no enemies. He is peaceful. He abides by the scriptures, and all his characters are sublime. So, text 28, just like how we just were saying, that how Devahuti was saying that, how can I develop this kind of devotional service which will make me immediately attain the lotus feet of the Lord? She wanted, very easy and quick process. So this chapter concludes with Kapil Muni's teachings by saying in text 44, he says that therefore persons whose minds are fixed on the Lord engage in the intensive practice of devotional service. That is the only means for attainment of the final perfection of life. So, rendering devotional service in the association of devotees with like-minded devotees is the process recommended by Kapila Dev to his glorified mother, Mother Devahuti. So, this brings us to the conclusion of chapter 25. And with this, we will end today's session. If there's any questions, comments, reflections, we can take that now. But before going into the questions, we'll announce the questions of quizzes for tomorrow. Okay, so the quiz questions are: how many daughters and sons did Kardama Muni and Devahuti have? Second question, Bindu Sarovar Lake is a part of which river? Third question, how did Bindu Sarovar get its name? Fourth question, who are the two brothers of Devahuti? Fifth question. What are the two kinds of brahmacharis? Name the two kinds of brahmacharis. Sixth question. What are the 6 symptoms of a sadhu that are given by Kapila Dev? So correct answers to the quiz will be given in the WhatsApp group. Please join the WhatsApp group. The link is just provided here. So if there's any questions, comments, we can take that now. Any questions? Okay. All right. So since there is no questions, we will look forward to all of your answers on Facebook and on YouTube. So please do post your answers.
Question. He's typing.
Ashesha Gora Hari Prabhu. Yes. Okay, we are waiting for your question, Prabhu. No worries. So again, we like to thank all of you for joining in and giving us your valuable association. This quiz, we have been getting so much feedback from all of you that this quiz is making you part of, you're feeling that you're having some interactions. So please let us know your thoughts in your comments as well. So if this quiz is helping you, like your children are participating, this is so enlivening for us to hear that. So please do let us know your thoughts also on your participation. We would love to hear from you. Okay, so question. Ashesha Gaura Hari Prabhu. I guess. All right. Okay, I think it's okay, yeah? All right. No, Ashesha Prabhu, no, we don't see the question. We just see Q written. There is no question there. Sorry about that, Prabhu. Would you like to type it in again? We will wait for your question. We don't see the question yet. Okay, Prajvani. Why does God come through a person into the material world instead of directly coming? Well, the Lord, he doesn't even choose to come through a person sometimes. He comes through a pillar sometimes. That's the Lord who chooses how to appear. The Lord is supremely independent. The Lord sometimes chooses a person, sometimes he chooses the water, in the form of the Matsya avatar. He came into the water. And then sometimes he comes as Lord Nrsingadev through a pillar. So, it's the total will of the Lord directly, how he chooses to come. He comes even from the nose. No one appears from the nose. Different, things come out from the nose, not very palatable things. So, but the Lord chose to come out from the nose also. The Lord came out from the pillar, so why not persons? So it is the Lord's own desire. I hope that answers your question. Premalata Mataji. It's a general question. Out of 84 lakh species, 4 lakhs are human. So what are the varieties? Please explain. Well, the varieties of species are based, Srila Prabhupada says that they are not based on the number of lives, but it is based, all these divisions are based on the level of consciousness of the living entities. So even the 4 lakh species of humans that are divided, it is based on the consciousness. There are 5 different stages of consciousness. There is the budding stage, then there is little bit blooming, then fully blooming, like Shankuchito, then there is Mukulito, then there is Bikoshito, and then there's Purno Bikoshito. So completely fully self-realized. So it's all based on this level of your consciousness that these different living entities are categorized into, especially also the human race. So I hope that answers your question. How many children? Sudesh Prabhu, how many children did Swayambhuva Manu have? Swayambhuva Manu, it is explained that he had 2 sons and 1 daughter. So 2 sons, Priyavrata and Uttanapad, and daughter is Devahuti. So 3 children. Shamala Gopika Mataji. Mataji, Devahuti got her husband half of the credits. My Prabhu asked, is it only goes from husband to wife or will it go other way also? Yes. This question was asked to Srila Jayapataka Maharaj. And Srila Jayapataka Maharaj gave the answer. I will try to repeat it as it is. He said that in Krishna consciousness, whatever the wife is doing, the husband will also get. And 50% the husband will also get, and whatever the husband does, the wife will also get 50%. But if both husband and wife are doing, then it becomes a combination of 200%. That is spiritual mathematics. So yes, whatever the wife does, the husband definitely gets. So that's definitely there. Okay, I hope that answers your question. Ashesha Gora Hari Prabhu, we still don't have your question. Oh, we seem to be having your question here. Okay, Divyangi Mataji, question is, we hear that Lord usually has lotus in his hand, so here he appeared with lily. Yes, it is explained that he appeared with a lily. Maybe that day the Lord was in the mood of a lily. The Lord has different moods, and a lily is very similar to a lotus, no doubt about it. Lilies and lotuses, they look very, very similar. Lotuses actually have many more whorls, many more petals, but lilies have little more lesser petals than the lotuses, but they're very similar flowers, at least. So yes, it is explained here very specifically that the Lord, instead of a lotus, was carrying a lily. So this is a variegated thing. Even I am, in this particular thing the Lord has asked here, carrying here. So okay, thank you. Shamala, I'm very happy that your Prabhu is happy. Okay, Ashesha Gaura Hari Prabhu, our dear God brother, thank you so much. I wrote this twice. Maybe Krishna doesn't want me to ask the question at the moment, or maybe YouTube doesn't want it. I give up. Thank you anyway. All right, Ashesha Prabhu, maybe we can speak in person. We really don't see your question here, so sorry about that, Prabhu. But thank you very much. We thank all of you, our wonderful YouTube listeners and our Facebook Live listeners. We will look forward to all of your association again on Monday. We look forward to seeing you. And over the next 2 sessions, we will try to conclude the 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON Vartaman Guru Vrind ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you.